Blue Kool-Aid drinkers! We are back, baby. We are back after the long weekend, the long Thanksgiving weekend. I hope every one of our listeners had a great weekend as well. And it started off with a great 23-20 victory over the Chicago Bears. Again, the Lions dominated for a half and hung on in the second half by a thread, thanks to the wonderful game management of the now fired Matt Eberflus. We'll get into all that in a moment. But before we do, let's introduce the Blue Kool-Aid Krew that is here. We got the whole crew. So I'm Big Z, and then let's get to the rest. We got Bob.
Hello, everybody.
UJ.
Greetings, Lion fans.
And Rut Dog.
Yo.
And, of course, we have our producer, Kid J, off to the side. He might be interjecting every once in a while. But now, gentlemen, 23-20. I want to just start with the end because it kind of highlighted this game. I just want to say that on Thanksgiving, I was thankful for Matt Eberflus and the Bears' game management skills because, this game was trending, unfortunately, in the wrong direction. The Lions are throwing out whatever body they could find on the sideline. I think they're ready to go in the stands and grab somebody to put on shoulder pads. The way players are falling off the field by the end of this game. We can go down the injury list in a second, but just a remarkable ending. You have 30 seconds to get a play off, and they get one off, and then they throw it deep. After it's a late snap, they could have still got like a short pass or something, still managed to get one more play. No, they throw it deep. Everything about that last play was wrong.
Yeah.
Bob, I don't throw it over to you first. What was going through your head when you saw that?
Yeah, well, that was awesome. I was kind of not paying attention to the clock because I thought they had plenty of time to get multiple plays off. So when it was actually
so did they.
As the play was going off, I'm like, oh shit, that's it. And I think a lot of the players felt the same way. But yeah, even if I didn't think they were getting a touchdown there. Even if they'd thrown it overtime, I don't know if the Bears win. But but it was so funny to watch the dysfunction on the Bears, and Lions got to put the dagger into Eberflus. So
yeah,
it was funny.
In a way, I think Bears fans are happy with how the game ended because they wanted him gone for a while. But UJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, me too with that ending. As I'm watching the game, I'm thinking, at first I'm kind of dejected, kind of down because all the momentum was against us. They were, they were driving down the field and looking to tie or take the lead. Just we had no momentum at that time. And then I'm watching that last play, and I'm just watching and watching. Go, what are they doing here? They got a timeout, right? I'm checking the timeout on the screen. Yeah, they have timeout. Yeah. What the heck are they doing? It just took forever. It was so mind-boggling. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. And then after the play's over, they look up and the time has run out, and Caleb Williams looked confused. Everyone just looked confused and dumbfounded. It was the weirdest ending. I'm grateful for the ending. I'm glad we won.
Yeah.
But
and Red Dog, we can't forget what led to that ending is Darius Smith just completely jumping off the ball right at the snap. Huge, it was like the offensive line wasn't even out of his stance by the time he was off the ball, and that sack caused a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Yes.
But your thoughts there awesome. Too on the ending?
Oh, I mean, I'm kind of with Bob. I don't that's just kind of so this is how it's gonna look, huh? Was my kind of reaction as it went down. I fully expected we were going to win that game, and I didn't expect it to look like that, but it is what it is. We won the game. I'd say the injuries kind of hang a little longer after this game in your mind, but at the same time, it's like we still win games, and that's just what this team does. So I fully expect them to just keep growing and go on to the next one. And just like the machine they are, man, they took care of business this week. And as ugly as it got at times, it didn't matter. We took the dub.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of conversation about that ending, but let's get some more aspects of the game. Let's get to the first half first. Lions go up 16-0 in the halftime. Come on, guns blazing. I mean, between the 20s, the Lions are excellent. They just could not finish the drive for the most part. Settling for several field goals. There were 3 or 4 field goals. Jake Bates, he missed his first field goal this year. it finally happened. If people out there thought he was prone from missing it, well, nope, he is human after all. Apparently, he did miss one, but we picked him up. We won the game.
Yeah.
But anyways, any concerns from you guys just about how the Lions here getting in the red zone and not finishing, or just that's ways? Bears are number one in the red zone defense in the NFL, surprisingly, because they're actually one of the worst between the 20s. But they clamped down. They clamped down.
Yeah. Well, I heard on the sideline, Jake Bates was singing to himself, "I'm only human after all. I'm only," and then and the guys were kind of getting into it a little bit, but. I'll tell you one thing a little bit about this is going to sound weird to you guys. I know it will, but in that first half, that play they tried to run with the pitch to Sewell, who's going to do a tackle pass or whatever. Not a halfback pass, a tackle pass. Well, it was really great and it was funny and the fans loved it and all that stuff. But to me, just slightly, it smacked of arrogance a bit. Like it was early in the game. And I think Ben Johnson might be just, I don't know. The timing of it seemed suspicious to me a little bit.
I loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
I loved it too.
I love the play. Don't get me wrong. I just
the crowd cheered a -4 game.
They did. But I don't know. Anyway,
arrogance. You say, UJ?
I like
smacked
it.
a bit.
I like the arrogance.
I thought it's just a coach that's continuing to be super creative. It's a short week.
Yeah.
And you're starting off the game. It's a fun. I don't know. I like it. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I love everything.
They
about
clearly
it.
told them like if it's not open, just don't throw it.
Okay. Well,
So,
yeah.
Are you just suggesting that it pissed off the Bears? Is that what you're
Well, it
saying?
may
Or
have.
like, I'm not sure what you're
all I know
saying
is
here.
if I was playing on the Bears, that would have pissed me off. And yeah, I'm just saying. How would you have felt if you were the Bears and they did that early in the game too? It's one thing.
I would say great. We just got a -4 yard loss on that play. So
Yeah.
See, we are switching positions on this podcast now. I love it. This is really cool. Z, Mr. Optimistic, Mr. Blue Kool-Aid pouring from his veins. I love it.
I'm just saying
So
what I
you
think they're thinking.
Okay.
Do you think there's like sort of like a spit in your face, like insulting nature to Ben Johnson's play calling? Is that what you're saying?
I just felt. I'm not saying like overwhelming feeling of
Is
that.
what
I just said it was. It just. I felt. And
Disrespectful.
my first
That's what you
thought
felt.
was that was awesome, and then the second thought right after that was, it just seemed a little arrogant to me, and it was early in the game, and it was one thing to be in the second half. Later on, it would have been more suitable. I think it just kind of fed the other team. Kind of pissed them off a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
You
the
used to think
fumble
what you
by
want.
Gibbs
It's
was the
what I
biggest
felt
thing
at
in
the
that
time,
game.
and I'm just saying it. So there you go.
UJ's
feelings.
insulted by Ben Johnson's play call.
The only time there's been like a kind of thrown in their face play call was the end of the Cowboys game where they're just throwing the lineman
Well, that
lining
was-
skipper wide.
that was completely
all that
justified, and we know that was a revenge game, 100%.
So you're saying it was poor taste by Ben Johnson?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know.
What are you saying here, UJ?
Let me just address this since we're here, because I was going to address this. There's a point in the season, and this is getting to that point in the season. A lot of it's because of the injuries, and there could be a little level of cockiness that sets in and stuff. And I'm going to throw on top of this the Gibbs TikTok video or whatever, where he's standing in front of the chalkboard with all the plays on it.
Yeah,
And stuff.
like that.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff like little things like that. That like, no, this is not. No, come on, guys, keep it together. Let's.
You're assuming Dan didn't set that
I might
up
be overreacting
on
to all this
purpose.
stuff. Okay,
Wouldn't that be a
Alright,
true?
intelligence.
Wouldn't that be a true masterclass to set that up to just make them work extra? Like, let's read these.
Well, that was my next thought. Z, I was thinking, what if he did that on purpose? Yeah, and put up all this jargon up there, and
And then he gets all like
Yeah.
touching his face when they ask him about it. Like he's like, "Oh, I didn't hear about that." No. Like,
that
man.
would be a master class if that's the case.
I didn't really understand the photo and the purpose of it, but
I didn't either.
Like,
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, the
So,
weird
like
pointlessness of the photo is even more suspicious.
Yeah, because it's just a photo, right? It wasn't a video or anything, right? It was just a picture.
Or is Gibbs
I
just
think he's
trying to
just
stack up
doing
dumb
like this.
things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
See, your question about the first half, though, to me, it reminded me of watching an NHL game. I'm a Blackhawks fan, and like when they were in the playoff run, you get one of those games where you're just out shooting the hell out of them, but you're still like 0-0, or you're losing 1-0 on some cheap ass goal. Like,
Mm.
and because the Lions were well outplaying the Bears, I think, for that first half.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for sure,
absolutely.
for sure.
Before the injuries started piling
Especially
up. And stuff.
defensively.
Yeah, and but we should have had a huge lead, and I know the Bears, they do have a decent defense and all, but I think it was like little errors on the Lions' part that kept us from getting it. Just detailed stuff that they always talk about.
Yeah.
But I still thought they'd win, but
And,
it was frustrating to watch that it was that close when they should have been.
Right.
Yeah, and a killer fumble by Gibbs.
Yeah, that's the
first
biggest
half.
one.
Yeah, that was a killer.
Yeah, that just cannot happen. Cannot happen.
Don't you just love that our big killer mistake just means the other team gets to be in the game near the end? Like, and now, like, instead of like, oh man, like we blew the game on a Gibbs fumble. It's like, nah, like we almost will forget about that probably in the next couple of weeks as we just remember winning the game. Like, it kept them in it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But Gibbs did look electric in that game, man. Other than
absolutely.
that fumble, that was one of his best games yet. He
Yeah.
is so damn good.
But he didn't run much in the second half, which might be part of the reason we were so lifeless.
Oh, did anyone else notice his shoes though? Like the red spikes to make him look the Sonic look. It looks so good.
They both had him.
they really dug into that this week with the promos and everything.
But I mean,
it's
like
fun.
they live up to it, man. They both put up like 80 yards. Him and Monty this week.
Yep.
On the
88
ground.
on 21 carries for Monty. He looked great in this game. And then
No
Jameer,
touchdowns, so.
9 for 87. No touchdowns for either, though, yes. Laporta took them both away.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Laporta only had 6 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
How about that?
Which is nice to see, at least.
That's why, like,
getting
I don't
involved.
care about the Jake Bates missed field goal either, because it's like this is the team that doesn't care
You
about
should
the
care.
streaks. It doesn't care about the streaks. We break a new one every week and start a new one. Like now he'll start his next one. I'm not worried about Bates. Like that was, no sign of alarm there. I'm just saying.
He's
but
way
I
better
think-
than Justin Tucker. Way better. Who keeps missing field goals? Can't.
Yeah, that's remarkable. I mean, not career-wise, Bates yet, but Justin Tucker this year, yes.
He's got the yips.
Why
He's
does he
got the
look bad?
yips like
He's arguably the worst kicker in the NFL this year.
Seriously.
Is he still? Where's he with now?
The Ravens.
Baltimore.
Still with
Same
Baltimore?
team he's
Oh,
always
wow.
been with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so but now he's sucking.
Yeah,
Nice.
Bob. Remember the second baseman who couldn't throw to first anymore? Who's that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Battle
that's a
block
bad
or-
one.
a couple
Yeah.
guys like that, but it's
Yeah, there's a
Tucker
couple.
seems to be that way
Tucker's
right
got
now.
the yips.
He's
got the yips.
Got the yips right now, pretty bad.
Like Simone Biles.
Anyway,
He got the yips.
Did he win the gold?
She had the twisties, not the yips.
Yeah, oh well, it's very similar. Basically, the gymnastic version of the yips.
Okay, enough about the
yeah,
yips. So in the second half, it all starts getting a little bit too close for comfort. The Lions' offense stalls in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
They what do they go? God. Okay, so they go touchdown to start, but then it goes punt, missed field goal, punt, and then the end of the game. The Bears had a bunch of long drives.
Luckily of Jack Fox, who pins you at the one.
yeah.
Yes,
maybe.
and
Yeah.
wow, did the
Khalil
Lions
Dorsey,
really?
who has a hypersense of
Yes, Khalil Dorsey really played with fire with his back of his foot on the goal line. These players, like just
I thought
get
he
the
blew
ball
that
down.
for a second.
Oh my gosh. Do you they have to work on stopping the ball inside the 5, right? I'm not just talking about the Lions. All these players in the NFL
Yeah.
just do a lot of dumb
Oh,
things
yeah.
when they're in that
I
position.
mean, you could argue that he did it to perfection.
Well, he did. I mean, it
He-
worked.
he-
I think he
he
got
just
lucky.
Yeah.
He just didn't need to play it that close. Like,
No.
he could have stopped that at like the 1 safely.
Right, exactly. But yes,
But hey, it was perfect.
yeah, big one for Jack Fox there. Just continues to be low key, like the best punter in the NFL, or one of the best
Yeah.
3, if not.
Stud.
Yeah.
But and the Lions special teams as a whole. I mean, besides missed field goal, but it's still an elite unit in the NFL, like every one of our units. But the Bears get close, but no cigar, especially Keenan Allen down at the end there. But the
The old
Lions
men
injuries.
started shaking us down over there.
Yeah, so Lions injuries. Let's start with the killer one here. Rodrigo
Ugh,
out for the year,
that hurts.
torn ACL. Our
Yeah,
entire
such a
starting
bummer.
linebacker core is now out, and Anzalone will be back at least at some point.
Jack
Yeah.
Campbell.
Well,
He
Campbell.
didn't start the year though as a starter.
True.
Everyone but Campbell, Z.
Yes, but okay. Yes,
Yeah.
sure. Campbell, yes.
What you
Campbell,
said.
yeah, obviously is still there. But I was talking about Anzalone, Barnes, and Rodrigo. Well, I guess Rodrigo didn't start. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. All right. So either way, but Rodrigo out now. We are really depleted at linebacker. The Lions signed Quan Alexander off the Broncos practice squad, who was formerly a really good All-Pro linebacker. He is he's hovering on the practice squad, so he's not quite up to what he used to be, but hopefully he can at least be decent. I don't know much about him in his current state.
This
But either
feels
way,
like
Rodrigo,
some,
just a
like,
killer. He was playing great in
Yes,
this
he
game too.
was.
He had nice coverage down the sideline on the one pass against
So good.
Swift. He was looking better and better every week, and it's really painful to see a guy go down like that.
Yeah.
This feels like we're in like an Expendables movie now, though. Like you're wrangling up all like the old gang. You got like this old safety Jamal Adams coming in. You got these like guys, like they're all just like the nobodies. It's like we're gonna keep this thing going, boys. I don't know,
And,
like-
and we had already brought that Long in, and he's played a ton. So
Yeah.
we got him in.
he
Like,
played well though.
He
Yeah,
did play well.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I mean that was a really good signing actually, and that's one of the nice things about being in this position. The Lions are in. They could probably get any of the top remaining, free agents out there or whatnot that are just waiting to come on the roster for a
Safety.
playoff run.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. See,
practice squad poaching.
yeah, that's it. It's a playoff run now. These guys get a shot. They're going to give you their best shot too when they come here. So,
I love the way Dan talks about it too. He talks about how like they're going to look at each guy's ability and get best assessment of what they're capable of and just put them out there in ways where they're capable of just cutting it loose and playing fast and playing fire free football and like not thinking too much. I feel like that's part of why
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn's so good at what he does is because he just gives these guys limited designated roles that they just have to execute to the best of their ability that's meant for their skill set and then just asks them to do it as good as they can, fast and violently.
Yeah.
And that's why this defense is
Yeah.
so formidable.
And some of these guys that Brad's bringing in, he knows what they were playing before, and so some of these guys are playing similar defenses, so it's
True.
easier to get up to speed when you already know what the hell they're doing. So
yeah.
it's been good.
Yeah, that Muhammad kid actually was pretty impressive in this last game. He was
was.
really he looks good.
I'll tell you.
Like he's got some serious potential.
Yeah, how good is that Zadarius Smith signing now, though? Holy cow, man! He's
Yeah.
playing very.
Oh, it's a necessity at this
He's
point.
playing very well.
How it's turned out.
He's
I know.
really.
And then there's always a couple times a game where he like slow to get up, and you're like,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was cramping bad at the end of this game. He fought through it, but he was cramping really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he struggled, but he kept fighting.
Well, the good news is what let's see, Anzarike was knocked out of the game, Pascal's knocked out of the game, but Campbell says they're both not long-term things. So
Yeah, but for this week they're probably out,
yes,
both of them.
Yes. However,
Yeah,
long
that's a
term, when
killer.
we're talking a playoff run, though, these guys are going to be essential. So at least
Just
that's
awaken
the
a
good-
fall in this
good part of it.
defense.
So
Well, the Lions got no help today because the Eagles won on the road in Baltimore. The first time Lamar Jackson's ever
Who was
lost to an
asking for
NFC
it?
team.
yeah,
What? Anyways, but
I
Lamar
don't want it.
Jackson lost to an NFC team for the first time ever in his career.
Second time.
Second time. Oh, I thought he was undefeated. So second. Either way, super rare loss for him, of course. So no help there. And then the Vikings come back in the last minute in a game they looked awful for 95% of it, and they win 23-22 against the Cardinals. So no help there either.
Hey, can I talk about one thing with the Bears game still? If we haven't put that away yet.
Yeah, we're still talking about it.
One thing I liked, and as we're going to be seeing Caleb Williams for a lot of years, I think he's actually going to be a decent player. He had a good second half and everything, but
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
but it was fun watching the Lions get a ton of hits on him. And
oh man,
he'd make a pass sometime, but he would pay for it, man. He would get laid out.
he did.
And that pick, that one with Campbell on the sideline where he upset all the Bears, but I don't think he was aiming for the knee, but he was like hit him right as he's, he gave him a little something because he was still in bounds. So
Hey, stop.
it was
really
nice.
Yeah, it was a clean hit.
It was awkward
It was a clean
looking
Oh
hit.
no,
hit.
I know. I wasn't saying this dirty. I'm just saying they didn't like
Yeah.
it, but But no, it was nice that their lines are hitting them hard. So he'll think about that in the future, I guess.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see a dirty hit, look up what happened to Trevor Lawrence today in the Jaguars game against the Texans. That's a dirty hit.
Yeah.
People want to see the difference. Anyways,
Kid J knows Kirby Joseph's clean. You know, as a Rams fan, he knows.
he is clean.
I know.
Clean.
Well, another killer too. The Lions are obviously hurting on the D line right now. Mekhi Wingo looks like he is out for the year. A promising rookie rotational D tackle. It just sucks because he's been improving throughout the year. He's finally getting some reps out there. We're excited to see him, and knee injury for him. He's out.
You could just field our injury list right now, and you'd have one of the best defenses in the league. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. I mean, they're really testing the coaching and the development here.
You know what this is, you guys? This is like the hero's journey. It's the hardest part, right? When you're about to, go take down the final villain and all that. Yet the hero always gets just absolutely decimated. Hands get cut off, and you hit your low points. You get beat up, but you just keep going. That's why this team is paying the price now. They're gonna find a way. This team is inevitable.
Yeah, I like Campbell's response to it though when they asked him about the injuries. Is it going to hurt? He says it doesn't matter. He says it just doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Now, no one's going to feel sorry for us.
Well, right.
Does anybody feel sorry for us? No.
Nope.
No. We got guys here. We got more depth here. The next guy will come up. He'll be fine. But I mean, his attitude about it was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Also, good luck getting an asterisk to our win this time, man. Like, what you mean when we had no defense left starters at the Super Bowl? You can't.
Like the one you gave the Chiefs last year?
Did I never gave any asterisks.
I'll be right. But
Anyways,
You must be thinking of someone else, Bob.
the other Red Dog on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't give
Alter
asterisks.
ego.
Smeagol and Gollum.
All I do
Red
is
Dogs.
wish to face teams at their strongest. If you count that as an asterisk, then
I'll tell you one guy that really impressed me and really stepped up in this game for the Lions. Been waiting to show up in the pass rush for a while here, but DJ Reader, big game out of him. Got the only game ball in the locker room after the game. But we really need him to step up in the pass rush. And it wasn't like anything fancy. He just got a couple one-on-one and absolutely just bull rushed this guy into the backfield because he's a massive human being.
Yeah.
And it's been great with all the injuries on our D-line, it's amazing he is not one of those, knock on wood, because he has a long injury history. So to have him be out there healthy for this long through the season has been a huge boon. And again, like the run game was non-existent.
Him and Aleem are the fulcrum point, or like they're the point at which this defense turns. Like you had your super foursome with Pascal and Levi, but now it's really those two are like the only ones really left. And thank God for Zadarius Smith in this case, because I think he's about on that level too. So, 3 guys left to hold up. That.
Yeah.
Did you notice they actually went to a full-on 3-4 defense at one point? Because when Pascal and Levi went down, I was like, God. This whole defense is changing like freaking water, and that's why Glenn's so great.
Yeah, he's great. They're adapting well, and these guys, these second string, third string guys, they're playing their asses off, So, and I think they're putting them in a pretty good position to succeed. It's hurting our pass rush a bit, but like you said, Bob, they're at least dealing out punishment on these rushes if they're not getting to them. So
yeah.
I don't know. They're still working their ass off, and you got to respect it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually curious to see what these new guys they've brought in. I wouldn't be surprised if we get them on the field pretty quickly. See what they're capable of.
Yeah, El Kadim Muhammad is a veteran in the league. He's been around. He was on the Colts for a long time, then the Bears, and then didn't play last year.
Yeah.
And then Lions signed him to the practice squad, gets elevated, and here he is, being a key contributor. So he's actually listed as a linebacker. He's only 6'3", 250. He's on a little lighter side for one the Lions typically use for the edge, but they're
wins
not
with speed, though.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
His length is nice. Like he looks like he's got long arms too.
I don't think since we podcasted too that we mentioned James Houston got cut from the Lions.
He did.
Yeah.
But he is no longer.
See, it's
I
good
think
thing we had
as,
him more
as we
reps.
foretold, that would happen eventually.
Foretold.
I mean, the way his
Yeah.
snaps are going and stuff, you could see they gave him as much of a run as they possibly could this season. I think more than they actually wanted to, just because of injuries.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think it's the
Yeah.
injuries are the reason he's gone.
Hey, there was
Partly 'cause
one
we had to keep
good
changing everything.
injury
Maybe.
news item that looks like Mosley might be coming back. Manuel
yeah,
Mosley.
and for Thursday, no less for the Packers. So.
E-man.
So that
That'd be nice.
That's-
If you get him and Terry on, or was Carlton coming back soon? Do you
well,
know
he's
anything about his
iffy.
status?
No, I don't mean in the
No, that
iffy
if he's
sense.
iffy, what's not?
But they said they're not
Oh.
sure he's going to be back this week. So we'll see.
Well,
Yeah.
if we have Terry on and Emmanuel Mosley, that with Robertson, at least that's like a decent 3. You don't have to go to Vildor constantly, or Dorsey. I don't know about yet, but I haven't seen it. He doesn't. What do you guys think of Dorsey's performance in this last game? I didn't really notice him get beat too bad.
No,
Nope.
not really.
Again, like Vildor was the one that the
Yeah.
offense kept attacking. And God Almighty, I don't know how many times every week we have to watch him get like thrown at 10 times and give up big plays. It's he's on an island. Maybe not playing. I mean, definitely not playing as much as Lions want him to.
I
But,
gotta
man. I don't know.
respect
Give
for
someone else a chance. Is what I'm thinking. 'cause it
Personally,
can't get much
I-
worse.
I have respect for Vildor, man, because he got thrown
do
in
too.
like a tough situation where he has to go up against all this shit because of
He's
injury.
professional though. He's got to step
He's-
up. Like,
yeah.
I don't really.
I'm
feel
not
for him.
saying I want him out there, but since he is out there, I think he plays hard. And
Yeah, he's a battler.
It sounds like
Yeah.
the Jerry Jacobs conversation,
Well, I mean,
right?
he
A
is
little
like
bit.
our
The
fourth string
cornerback
cornerback.
that
Yeah,
got
exactly.
beat, but he's trying his hardest.
We wouldn't mind. Like that's he is. But I mean, he's better than Jerry Jacobs at least a little bit.
he doesn't make no plays, but he does get beat. But I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to cover the receivers in this league, and Glenn asks more of our cornerbacks than like anybody. So I agree with you, Bob. They put him in tough spots, and they're okay with the way he battles. It's not ideal. You want Terry
He's not
on,
going
you want
anywhere.
Carlton
James,
out there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. But
He should be like your third or fourth stringer, though. But
I'm just saying he's
stepping
not the
up.
problem. I
No.
mean, the problem are injuries. That they have to play him that much. But
If you guys
Right.
noticed, though, even Branch got torched in
Yep.
this game for a tutty.
oh yeah,
He
did.
He got
He did.
absolutely, literally torched
Rare
on the play.
instance.
So
yeah,
it happens to the
they got
best
good
of them.
receivers.
It happens to the best of them.
And he also laid
It's
out
true.
Caleb in this game.
Yes, he did.
Branch did.
Oh, Bridge. Yeah, defense, man. They just keep transforming and adapting. I mean, I know they gave up a few scores in that game, but like they never gave up the lead. Like,
I think the Lions are about to get real clever with some of their blitz packages going forward. Kind of like what we saw at the end of last year, actually.
Yeah.
Because of injuries. Good. It was a good win, though. A couple other things to mention from this game, too. JMO, looked great. Had a lot of fun out there. Dumb penalty.
Yeah.
yeah, dumb penalty.
It looked like Stevenson might have tripped him or even knocked him over a little bit, but you just can't do that. And then do you see Antoine Randall yelling at him on the sideline? Like, he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you give the dad face screen was like, "Oh, don't you dare!"
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, I think the guy said to JMO, "Get your bitch ass up" or something like that. What's what they call it. But he's
How
still
dare
he can't fall for that stuff.
Right.
No.
I love J-Mo. Like honestly, like some of the hate he gets for like some of this, like I'll give it's immaturity, no doubt. Like that's something you shouldn't really do. But like his fire and his fight is great. I'd rather have to have him tamed a little bit than to have to like try to get it out of him. This dude's a fighter. He's a warrior out there, and I think he'll learn, he'll grow. It's like that's. He already apologized, like he unprompted to the team. So like it's like anything. Like I just love that. I love the player. I love his personality. I love the character. Like I don't even care about
He
that.
should
It's
have
a dumb little
apologized.
thing.
I mean, I love JMO. I'm a huge JMO guy, and I have no problem with him going forward. But that was a costly penalty, man.
yeah, no, it was costly.
That was a killer on that drive there. But
Yeah,
could have had some points. But alas,
you're
Alas.
wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, really cool. What I think it was on the reverse where he leaped over the
Oh,
safety.
yeah.
I mean, just
That was
freak
sick.
athlete. He's such a freak athlete, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was running a ton of short routes in this game,
He
which
was.
I kind of liked actually. I like seeing that change up with him. It's
Yeah,
just
they'd
gonna open
really
up
get
things
him
like
involved.
later in maybe later in another game where he runs the same route, but then it's a stop and go type of thing.
I don't think
This
we
game
even had
almost
deep
felt
attempt
like
in
that.
that game, did we? I don't even think we went deep in that game once.
I don't think we did very
Yeah.
much. But like it felt like we were not trying to. The offensive game plan was weird in this one. It felt like the run game was great, and that was clicking until the second half.
Right.
Like-
They seem to have great coverage against us in the game, and especially in the second half, like you say, and then in the end zone. And Goff was having to throw the ball away a lot, but to his credit, the old Goff,
Yeah.
in the first year, he tried to make a play and said he's just getting rid of the ball, and lived to fight another
That was
down.
enough.
And I really like that about him. He's playing really smart football, even when it's not there. He's not forcing something. So.
Yeah. That's why I put
You
his
know what,
under
UJ?
interceptions every game.
That's that like trust too. That's like that like next level that this team has reached where they're playing at such a high level that they can see that lead and know exactly what they have to do and not be fearful of protecting it. Just be smart about, how to keep the game in control and not give it back to the other team. I mean, the Bears made a nice fighting effort, but ultimately Jared Goff did enough, the defense did enough, and the offense did enough. Everyone did enough to take home the win. And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone acting like the Bears gave us some gift. I just did not feel like we were going to lose that game, because of how this team acts and what the Bears are too. Honestly, if they were another team, maybe I'd be a little thinking different. But this Lions team's unflappable.
A couple of things I want to mention about this game is, first of all, so when we came into the season, a lot of the questions were like, who's going to be the third wide receiver, fourth wide receiver, etc. How's our depth? Tim Patrick has answered that bell.
Oh, he's awesome.
Just remarkable. I know I think we mentioned almost once a week on this
The
podcast, but
Irishman is awesome.
Yeah.
there's a couple big plays in this one again. He just, he comes up in key moments, it seems, every week when we need him. It's kind of like the Josh Reynolds,
Well,
but to a smaller degree.
it's
I
hard
think.
to ignore that. I think he's better than Reynolds overall too. That's the exciting thing.
Yeah.
But
He's a nice
they're very
target.
similar. They're very similar. Well,
If he catches the ball on fourth down in the NFC Championship, then yes, he's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
better
what
than
I was
Josh
saying.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
but I also think he's a testament to really there. As much as coaches try to be like, when you coach the players and you coach, there's prototypes, there's things you want to make your schemes work, and having a big tall receiver that can do the route tree seems to be clearly important to Ben Johnson's offensive mechanisms. Like, we do so much better when we got a big dude like him or Reynolds running around with helping JMO and everyone else just operate Amon Ra.
Definitely. And he just seems to just have a good sense, especially in his zone defense, like the Bears playing, where to go, where to be. And kind of leading to my second point is I love the one to play design on the Penisul. No, I'm kidding, not the Penisul throw, but
Sue.
I just had to say that because of UJ earlier. But no, it was
Salty.
it was kind of a sprint out right from Goff, and then Amon Ra. I don't know. I forget what
that
the
was
route's
sick.
called, but basically Amon Ra looks like he's running a crossing route, stops, turns around, runs
Like
a
a rewind
corner
or
route
something?
pretty much, and it was all set up perfectly. And Goff just throws him for like a 30-yard pass. I just love that. That's the type of stuff that Ben Johnson
Yes.
and this Lions offense comes up with every week. That's just so cool that you don't see
There's
a lot of other teams doing.
There's a phrase I keep hearing, Z. I think Brady said it. I think Romo said it. You just don't see this route in the league. Like, what? They keep
Well,
saying
they tell
these
you
about
like
these-
don't throw across the field.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying though, like,
And this was by
I've heard it
design.
multiple times about like Amon Ra, and some of these routes and the designs that they're drawing up are just so ridiculous that like Tom Brady and Tony Romo are saying you just don't see this in the league. That's what like they're doing. It's so like revolutionary, basically. Remember that one was it against the Colts, I think, where Amon-Ra ran that like crazy like wiggly route towards the sidelines to like shake the guy and caught the toe tapper, and they were like just like Tom Brady was like, you just don't see that. Like, and this one was just like that. He breaks off a crossing route and goes to the other goes like it's so crazy.
Yeah, how do you defend that?
Yeah.
That's
You don't.
Well, Amon-Ra might be the best route runner we've ever seen. I mean, he's
so
just
sick.
so unbelievable the way he can move and change directions. There's
absolutely
nobody like him.
Yeah.
And
Up
I mean,
there, man.
it helps when you have a top one offensive line in the NFL to
Yes.
run that type of stuff. You can let those plays develop when you have that type of protection.
And a quarterback who can execute on that fine level of precision that they,
Yeah.
like him and Goff, like there's not any quarterback is just gonna be able to take advantage of Amon-Ra like they do. He's so awesome.
True.
And that was like that's what I love. Like this part of like how our bread and butter is just medium routes to Amon-Ra. Like when we're getting like 10, 11, 12, 13-yard routes from Amon-Ra, this offense is like unstoppable.
I feel like a great prognosticator sometime when I'm watching the game. I go, oh, it's time we need to pass Amon-Ra. And like, boom, there it is. Because they need it right then. You
Yeah.
know, like he's so reliable. They need that third
Absolutely.
down.
So
They need that one play. And he's always there. Always answers the bell.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I want one other player I want to shout out. He was injured last week, but he came back this week. And he can always, Terrion Arnold. I think he makes a big difference, and you could tell
Yes.
when he is in and when he's not in. I know he has his penalties and stuff throughout the year, although we haven't seen too much of that in the last couple games, so hopefully it's getting cleaned up.
Yep.
We gotta have at least one of him or Carlton Davis. Like it's just we gotta have one of them.
Yes, I think we need one of them. Yeah.
Like at least they both can hold down that number one, and you got both of them were just ridiculous.
He was there in that last.
Yeah, I just remember
Oh, go ahead.
one other play. This isn't Arnold, but the Vildor when they had that pass interference on him. I thought that was really
Oh,
that was
man.
a soft call. And I think the Bears
Soft.
jumped that play too. They should have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, on offense,
Start.
yeah.
Honestly, the end of that
Talk
game
about a
felt like
BS
script writers
call.
were trying to keep the
Yeah.
Bears in it. They wanted the Bears to threaten at the end there.
It wasn't even remotely catchable to start with.
They
It's like, well, there's
underestimated
no
Yeah.
Eberflus's
It
harebrainedness.
was a horrible call.
You want
Oh,
interference?
my
Watch
God.
Cole Kmet running his routes. He had 2 in this game. I think.
Yes, he did, and he was literally running it like a basketball pick. He didn't even. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the Alec Pierce one last year against the Colts where he had his hands up,
Yeah.
like trying to make it look like he had a pass. But either way, like these are blatant offensive pass interference from Quebec in this one. So good call out there on those plays.
Maurice Alexander was not great on punts, I guess, because they decided he's not on the team anymore after this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He got released.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Lions signed a few guys with all these injuries. Obviously, Maurice Alexander waived. Miles Adams, the D lineman from the Seattle practice squad, got signed. He's an interior defensive lineman, 6'2", 285. They say like it kind of plays like Pat O'Connor as well. Plays like the 5 technique. Does most of his impactful work at the 3-1 technique. So he was undrafted out of Rice University in 2020. So that's a little bit about him. I'm not sure if he's just like practice squad depth in case O'Connor
Just a more body to put on
others
the
get hurt.
field so we can put
Yeah.
a D-line out there.
Quan Alexander is a really interesting one. A former Pro Bowl linebacker. We mentioned him. He was on the Denver Broncos practice squad. I don't think he got any snaps this year yet. But he's been in the league for 10 years. Pro Bowl in 2017. He started 90 games in the NFL. I think the Lions are just looking for a guy with experience at this point at that position. Some guy that knows where to go, even if he's not the most athletic guy anymore. per
It's
se.
not like we can trade for him at this point. Your options are very limited.
Yeah, exactly. But he
heard
was on the
Dominican
Saints for 2
Sue
years
floated.
there in Glenn, so he has some familiarity.
Yeah.
So
He's
it's
a
not like
vet.
he's a complete unknown to this defense. Jonah
This
Williams,
could be
Kid J.
exactly what he's looking for.
I was hoping you may take the lead on this one. Another D line we signed off the Rams practice squad.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid. He's been a pretty solid pro for the Rams. Just kind of does a little bit of everything, a little bit of pass rush, a little bit of run defense, and I think he's just a good rotation guy.
All right.
Yeah,
The Kid J seal of approval. There you
Where
go.
did he go to school?
Yeah, he's more of a run stopper than a pass rusher, is what I've
What are his
read.
metrics?
His metrics 6'5", 275.
I like
Plays
the height.
inside and on the edge. But he only had 3 pressures in 2024, so he
How old is he?
how old? I would have to look that up. Jonah Williams. Looking.
Not the offensive
29.
tackle.
All these guys are 29.
Yeah.
29.
Right.
Everyone's 29.
Ready to take charge of their lives and seize the opportunity on a Super Bowl bound Lions team. I love it.
And then the last one, of course, that the Lions assigned a practice squad today, actually, was Jamal Adams, a very familiar name, all pro safety from the Jets.
That's the
Got
intrigue.
traded for a ton of picks to the Jets from the Seahawks. But he's had a ton of injuries since then. He's played just 34 of 67 games in the last 4 years that he was, able to go if he was healthy. He is not necessarily the best cover guy. He's more of a rush the passer type of
Safety?
linebacker safety, kind of like a Iffy, if you will. Kind of in that mold of just bigger. He's a pretty big guy, actually. For his,
How big
he
is
doesn't look
he?
like a safety when you look at him. I gotta look again.
I mean,
One
we need
second.
any kind of
What's
like
up?
secondary linebacker help right now. But I like
Yeah,
He's
his
6'1",
veteranness.
215. So
So he's like a strong safety build. Like, but I like that because like he's the kind of guy you could put in some nice little like use his like instincts. Just put him out there as a little bit of a wild card, like maybe compare him to Woodson. Was it Rod Woodson on the Packers or Charles Woodson? I don't know. Woodson's a big name, so I guess that's either way. Woodson would be a compliment, but
Yeah.
he's a stud in his own right. Is all I'm saying. With a lot of experience, that we could use him in a limited capacity to like just put him out there to stir things up.
Right. Well, I think that's
I think he's more of a help for
Make some
what they
plays.
want in the box, just with all the injuries at linebacker.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what their plans are
Yeah,
for
no,
him.
that's-
He's on the practice squad. All these guys are practice
Let him
squad
rush the
signings.
passer, like
Well,
you said,
see,
or like
it-
just sit in some zone schemes. And
if you take a
pick the
guy
ball
off a
off.
practice squad, don't you have to sign him to your roster, to your 53 man? I believe that's the rule.
Oh, fair.
Yes, you do.
That's a great point.
Yes,
No,
you do.
apologies.
UJ astute as always.
Great call. So, yeah, those guys I mentioned besides Jamal Adams, yes, they'll be part of the roster. That's a good call.
Yeah.
The last piece of info that was floating out there is Taylor Decker. Will he play? Won't he play? Not sure. It seems it's very unclear. They say he's improving. That's all they can go off of.
He's day to day. So.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I
got
hate that
Skipper,
phrase, but I think
so
he's going to
that's
go.
good.
I think they need all hands on deck for Thursday.
Yeah.
Against
It's
who?
a
The
huge
Packers?
game.
Nah.
It's a huge game against the Packers.
Yeah,
We
you'll
don't
hear
want
that in our preview podcast. Or is this happening here?
no. We'll talk about it in our preview podcast. But I just wanted to mention that Decker was also on the injury list.
I will say though, like if you notice that the Skipper has not been bad, like I wouldn't call him a part of the problem why our offense stalls at any. Like he does not go out there and give up sacks, from what I can tell.
No.
He's been solid.
He's been passable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you got an elite unit, baby. One man can step in and hold it down. And Skipper's kind of a freak in his own right, isn't he?
He's a large
Like,
man. There's no doubt.
And he's got so much experience at this point. You figure he's got a good idea of what he's capable of. So I don't know. I like that they trust him there. Honestly, it's kind of wild that I just assumed Sue would slide over when Decker went down. But hey,
Yeah.
man,
I love when
it's cool.
Skipper. I love when Skipper turns
ahead.
to God and he goes, "I'll protect you, little buddy." You know,
Does he do that?
yeah, he does.
That's awesome.
There's a reference for the young folks out there.
There you go.
But, yeah.
Oh yeah, what's the reference?
Oh, Gilligan's Island, come on. Skipper, Gilligan, come on.
Too young.
Oh,
Hip.
man.
Oh boy.
Well, there you go. So the Lions moved to 23.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, the Lions won 23-20, and they moved to 11-1. That's still good for first in the NFC, with a 1-game lead over the Eagles and the Vikings.
Tied for first in the NFL.
And Michigan beat Ohio State, so they kept that rolling.
Oh, boy.
They
Go
did.
Blue. Go
they
Blue.
did. They started the
State of
whole
Michigan.
flag planting thing throughout the rest of the day we saw in college football. Everybody was planting flags, throwing fists in the center of the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
Quality
Upset.
entertainment.
The Michigan even set 2 of their starters, 2 of their best players, and still won.
I know.
So-
It's hilarious watching Ryan Day's look at the end of the game.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. Ohio State still has a chance to win a national championship, and all their fans want him fired.
I think he gets fired after this year, personally.
It's kind of remarkable. Not if he wins the national championship, there's
You
no
got to
way.
beat Michigan.
Yeah,
that's his one thing when they
Well.
hire these people. You got to beat Michigan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he did it so
National
many years.
champion.
4 years in a row, Michigan's beat him.
the
now.
seniors have never beaten Michigan.
That's
We're
right.
gonna go without.
Crazy. So yeah, the Lions moved 11-1, Eagles, Vikings 10-2, and the Packers win on Thursday and on Thanksgiving night as well. And they move to 8-3. So if the Lions let them right back into this division and a possible shot at the 1 seed if they lose on Thursday. So the Lions, this is a big
Oh.
one. This is a big
This is
one.
a big
Ah, shit. Why'd you have to say that? That just sounds like something Dan Campbell's going to want to do, so make it hard on us. Damn. No. We're going to keep rolling here, baby.
I will say right now the Lions would have a tiebreaker with the Eagles based on conference record, but I mean if the Lions
Eagles
lose to the
look
Packers,
good.
then that might go away, that advantage. So we'll see. But yeah, that's everything going on right now. The Chiefs, they win another miraculous game against the Raiders. The refs help them out again. And they stay at 11-1, so the Lions are still tied with the best record in the NFL, not sole leaders. Anyways, so that is all. So we're gonna wrap it up here, and
Wrap it up.
we will be back later this week with a preview, probably in a couple days actually after this one's released, previewing the huge Thursday night game on Prime, Amazon Prime.
See, I have a question. Are you going to be able to watch that game at home?
In my house.
What?
Yes.
Oh, so do you guys watch it together?
Oh, you mean with my wife? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I have TV.
I figured
Yes,
maybe
we'll
have
be
to,
fine.
quarantine a little bit during that one.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. No, it'll be good. You know, she already probably expecting a loss, so I think it's already set in for her. I mean, she's kind of getting used to it. The way the Lions have pretty much owned the Packers in recent history. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Big one.
let's wrap it up here. We want to first thank our producer, Kid J. Sorry, you. I was trying to do it faster, like you like.
No,
like
I know.
it.
I was with you, but Rud Dog did not follow your lead on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What do you mean I didn't follow it?
Wagger.
I want to
follow
thank
it.
Fansided for supporting the podcast as well. If you love this podcast, please subscribe on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get a podcast. Please leave a review as well.
You hate
But
it,
if you really,
leave a review
really
as
like
well.
this podcast, or you just like looking at our beautiful, handsome faces, go on YouTube
Understandable.
at DTBK_Lions. That, or you can just subscribe on there so you get alerted when a new video goes up or when we go live at any point. And other than that, I think that's it. So, I mean, the last thing I want to thank, of course, is our beautiful, wonderful listeners. We hope you had a great
Beautiful.
Thanksgiving.
Beautiful.
I mean, it was the first time the
course
Lions
you
won on
did. The
Thanksgiving in
Lions
8
won.
years, so it had to be the best Thanksgiving you've had in 8
Yeah.
years, is my assumption.
It was great.
At the very
Yeah.
least.
Obvious.
I don't care if you got engaged on Thanksgiving in the last 8 years or got married on Thanksgiving in the last 8 years. This was the best Thanksgiving in the last 8 years. 'Cause the Lions won.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Amen.
Priorities. That's right.
I don't care if you were dead and came back to life. It was probably still your best Thanksgiving.
If you
Anyways.
came back to life on today.
Well,
that'd
it would
be
actually been a rough
better.
day if you were dead and came back to life. I don't know if people call it the best day. Anyways, all right, let's wrap it up. On that note, thank you everybody for listening. And last but not least, as always,
Go.
Go.